When we talk about the Wind Swordman, it produces either dubious vibes tinged with lol PTSD,
Yes, very sad. Anyway,
either turbo hype if you're an intern dinosaur like me who grew up playing Dynasty Warriors and Bunjingai Sword Master on PS2. In any case, when it comes to WoWa, two questions come in mind. Worth to pull? How to build and play? Hi, I'm Psycho75. In this video, we'll make an analysis of the brand new unit, in what environment this unit fits, if it is worth to pull, and to an extent, how to play. As usual, I have to do my due diligence and give my personal biases and situation to contextualize. Whatever the analysis I do, I pull all units for content purpose. It is not hypocrisy, I'm building material to know what I'm talking about, to be legitimate and relevant. That's totally personal. If I have to talk about how worth is something, I have to commit to it. It's a personal line of conduct. Because I committed to the pool, I am taking the risks for you. Not like a lot of people glazing the fuck out of unit test servers, calling for the pool, while skipping it on live version. Also, these characters fit into a lineage of game design at Kuro and in gacha games in general that I don't approve, what I call hyper synergy. Now let's begin. Qiuyuan is an aerosword unit who focuses on buffing echo skill damage, and who will use them multiple times via his forte circuit, mostly, so kinda fits in the flavor of the month's meta, echo skill team. His forte is the most important part of his kit, called Swordster Soliloquy. It is separated into 3/3 at a value of 200 points each. At 200 points, he acquires enhanced basic attack called Inkwash. At 400 points, he grants 30% echo skill damage bonus to the active Resonator in the tip for 30 seconds. And at 600, he gets access to 340 heavy attacks that restore Concerto energy, deal damage, and expand his forte George, concluding his rotation. Qiuyuan will also provide a buff up to 30% crit damage with his ultimate as long as he reaches 65% crit rate. However, those two buffs will not apply to any coordinated attacks and off-field character like Frolova. But in Frolova's case, the most interesting feature gonna be his echo damage forte bar that will trigger Hecate's note attack, like Cantarella does too. Where does he fit? Galbrena comp, and replaces Rocha in the Mono Havoc comp. That's funny because last video I told you that I would skip Rocha because she's on a downward slope and gonna probably be replaced. Interesting. Tough part. Is the weapon worth? To be honest, if you watch the numbers, yes. But in reality, it will depend on only one thing. Do you have both comps well invested? If yes, go for it. Qiuyuan, Galbrena and Frolova will benefit a lot from it. If you have only Galbrena or only Frolova, and you didn't go all in on them, it's kind of a waste of a strikes. Indeed, Emerald of Genesis is surprisingly once again an excellent choice. Qiuyuan wants energy regen, crit rate and attack, and those are the stats this weapon provides. Beside the 12% attack buff, all other effects of this weapon are very relevant on him and make for one of his top choices easily. Let's talk about sequence nodes. To be honest, S1 is a noob trap and a waste of strides if you can't invest further. The 20% crit rate sounds tempting, but I assure you, reaching 65% for his ultimate buff is not that hard at all, and if you have Shorekeeper, her crit rate buff will help you. The second part, who bring immunity to interruption, is also a bait, because in Hologram, if you don't dodge, most of the time you're gonna be one shot. In TOA, most of bosses don't interrupt and are gonna be perfect parry in the animation, and in WoWa, very few monsters will interrupt you. S2 would be the sequence to invest if you went all in Galbrena and Frolova, but I personally think that if you don't have both of them, investing that much for one unit is kind of a waste. Mine is S0, but I tested him at S3 on a friend's account who has S2 Frolova and S2 Galbrena, and here we are clearly stepping on whale territory. Team are just going overkill, no fun is allowed. It is personal and biased, I admit, but I hope it helps you to make your choice. How to build him? No surprises, Law of Harmony is the best set, but with what you're gonna pair it is the interesting part. For free to play or new player, a 4-4-1-1-1 setup is totally viable. And please, come on, after 1 year and a half, please stop yapping about those 2% differences. Numbers are so big, it is not those 2% on only one unit who will determine if you can clear or not. Are we good? And to pair Law of Harmony 3 pieces set, here are your options. Either 2 pieces of one of the 3 arrow sets, if you can reach a high enough energy regen. I think 125 is a good value. 2 pieces Moonlit Clouds if you have signature weapon, or if you like ER. And an option opens itself to you. You will have 2 choices of 4-cost main echo. Either Reminiscence Fenrico for a bigger focus on damage, either Bellborn Geokelon if you have signature weapon to min-max Frolova and Cantarella, buffing the party damage bonus by 10% for 15 seconds, including his own rotation. You'll use it just before his ultimate after Inkwash Basic 4. If you have Galbrena and Shorekeeper, going on a full Moonlit Cloud set is not at all a bad idea. You will sacrifice a little bit of damage, but it will be worth considering how beneficial it will be for Galbrena. This time, Impermanence Heron is the best 4-cost main echo. How to play it? In both teams, you will play it the same way. The difference will be where in the rotation. In Galbrena comps, we will stick to the classic hyper carry rotation, Shorekeeper Verena first, then comes our Swordman, then Galbrena. In Frolova comp, you can either have a slower start by beginning with Frolova, to then buff Qiuyuan, who will trigger Hecate and buff Cantarella. Or you can start with Cantarella, then buff Frolova for better damage at the beginning. But in the end, the total damage is the same. It's up to you. For the gameplay, nothing more simple. First, to make him rotate fast, you need to make him start with intro, so never in first position. After intro, you will perform basic attack Inkwash 3 and 4, and before triggering his forte, you will use ultimate. Then use the enhanced heavy attack, use echo plus skill if it's Fenrico, then swap. In conclusion, Qiuyuan is currently very strong in actual flavor of the month meta, able to work with 2 of the best team in the game, as one of the best team members available, and having no need for a signature weapon while remaining easy to play. However, he's only limited to these 2 teams because of the nature of his kit focusing on the archetype of echo skill damage. Qiuyuan has a niche in which he specializes and is very strong, and in spite of his low numbers of use cases, for players looking to improve their Frolova and or Galbrena teams, he's definitely worth considering, but let me doubt his long-term relevancy. Worth to pull? Yes, if you have Galbrena and Frolova, no sequence needed. Weapon is a plus, but after testing with Emerald of Genesis, I didn't felt the difference impactful. If you don't have both, it's a skip guys, for real. Hope you enjoyed the video, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, say 2B4A if you watch until this point. My socials are in the description, and as usual, take care of yourself and your finances. See you next time, peace.